Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your News in Motion. Yes, it's a recorded video, but I wanted to come to you anyway. Although I may be away today, I still wanted to give you some content and some information. And today I want to talk about food insecure. So grab your pencil and paper, share the video, get other people to have a discussion with you, because we still need to tackle those who are faced with food insecurity. So I'm going to go straight in. So let's get started. Now, when you're talking about food insecurity, food insecure is how it's actually written. Is the definition. I want everyone to understand the definition. The definition is dealing with lacking reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. I'll read that definition again. Lacking reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. So that's your definition for food insecure. Now, as reported by Feeding American, that's an amazing website for everyone to look into. As reported, the question is, what is food insecurity? Well, in 2018, an estimated 1 in 9 Americans, again, y'all, this is estimated, 1 in 9 Americans were food insecure, equating to over 37 million Americans. Y'all, I want y'all to think about that for a moment. That's over 37 million Americans, including 11 million children, were going without food, without anything nutritious to eat in their system. Again, y'all, 37 million Americans, including 11 million children. I just want you to sit with that for a moment. And I want you to think about how often you can go to the refrigerator, how often you can go through a fast food drive-through, how often you can even go through a place to pick up coffee, donuts, whatever. I want you to think about that for a moment. So I'm going to slow walk this because I want us to really get a visual, have the imagery of what that looks like. That looks like someone whose stomach is growling, someone who is parched, someone who is not feeling well. They do not have access to quality, nutritious meals. Maybe they can rummage through the trash can. Maybe. There may be something in there for them. They can sit outside the back of a restaurant hoping that somebody's going to give them some food. And how long will that last? Not only that, what is done to that food? Is the food spoiled? So are they now digging in the trash can and they're eating food that's spoiled? I want you to think about that for a moment. Now you understand why the News in Motion team and family, why we are so dedicated and committed to making sure that people eat. We may not have talked about it in a long time, but we're still taking action. We're still partnering with Aldi's, making sure that we are getting the food that's needed and delivering it to people. Not just in Central Ohio, but everywhere News in Motion is viewed. And that's throughout the entire United States of America and abroad. So I want you to resonate with that for a moment. Just in America, 37 million Americans, 11 million of that 37 children. So now couple that with health. Think about that when we're talking about the coronavirus. We are still in a pandemic. Pre-existing conditions such as diabetes. And we're talking about building our immune systems, and even in building that, we have people who are hungry because they do not have nutritious food to eat. Think for a minute how those of us who have access to food, how we gravitate to processed food, and how processed food makes us ill. The moment we start purging that food away, how much better we feel. So now think about that person who is food insecure, and when they get something, let's say it's processed, they're already dealing with health issues and concerns. That's not going to help them. Y'all, we have a problem that together we can address. I want to give you some more information from Feeding America. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, defines food insecure as a lack of consistent access to enough food for an active, healthy life. So y'all, if you take that apart, if you just think about that line right there, I'll read that again. The USDA defines food insecurity as a lack of consistent access to enough food for an active, healthy life. So if we just take that piece just for a moment, for an active, healthy life. So a person who is food insecure, they're not even active. And of course, there's not a healthy life that's attached to that. And the more they go without, the more they become in a space of being starved, the less active, even the little bit of activity that they may have had in their limbs now comes to a halt. Now I'm going to take it a step further. What about the brain? There's not even nutritious food to even move to the brain waves. So imagine a child at school. We're going into the school year. Imagine a child at school. What? They can't even function. They can't even learn. They can barely learn, if anything, but more often than not, they can't learn because they're hungry. They do not have the food that's needed to give them the brain power to do the work, let alone get up and move about, be a part of physical education. That's not going to happen. And all those schools serve food in the morning. Is that enough to get them going? Because maybe they've been starving all summer. Maybe they've been starving every time they're on break. No food, lack of food. And it's known that some children will save their food to take home to a younger child or even to their grandparents or to their parents because they are starving as well. They don't have any food. I want us to think about that for a few moments. Again, this is why News in Motion, myself, I put this on the table with our team all the time. It's in the forefront of what it is that we do. So how can you help? What can you do? Something that we did at the height of the pandemic, especially during the Thanksgiving time and Christmas time in 2020, I said, if you go to the store, get some extra groceries. Take them, deliver them to someone you know that's in need. Deliver them at bus stops where you know people are there and you see all their belongings where they're coming back to sleep. Find a way to help. Partner with your church, partner with the community, and do something so that we can start serving and feeding people right here in our communities, in our neighborhoods. Drive around your community, if you will, and ask yourself the question, how many people within this community are starving? How many people within this community, in your immediate community, whatever community that is, are facing food insecurity? Yeah, I don't mean to be heavy today, but this is something that is on my heart, and I want us to address these things. So let me keep going. And you can see a lot of this on the Feeding America website, and I do encourage you to go there. You can even help with Feeding America if you go to www.hungerandhealth.feedingamerica.org. Again, hungerandhealth.feedingamerica.org. That's how you can partner with Feeding America. Now, how do households cope when it comes to food insecurity? Now, first of all, food insecurity is highly stressful. So not only do you have an activity situation, a learning situation, it becomes very stressful. Think about this. If you have children and you are food insecure, or you're facing that, or someone in your family is facing that, you're thinking, this is so stressful. I need to make money. I need to do something to eat. And then what do you eat? What do you eat? What grocery stores do you go to? And we hear all the time at the grocery stores in the inner city, or those areas that are marginalized, or what we consider low income or poverty, we know that their produce and some of their foods are not the best in the stores. So we also have that issue. I know I'm putting a lot of things together here in this short period of time, but I want you to think about this. I really want you to think about this. So it's stressful. And then it goes on to say, when people do not know when or where they will eat their next meal, finding food may become their central focus, which means that's the only thing they're thinking about. So I have another question for you. Is this where some of the violence come from? Because people are hungry and that becomes their central focus. So they're trying to figure out, by any means necessary, I need to get food for my children. I need to get food for myself so that I can go to work, so I can get a job, so I can go learn a new trade. I can go to school. It becomes their central focus. So is that where violence comes from? Robbery, carjacking, anger, frustration, becoming an addict? Now, before we go and judge, let's just sit with that a moment and think about and connect the dots. I'm under this bridge. I have nothing to eat. I'm behind this trash can waiting for food to come out because I have nothing to eat. My children are starving. And here's the thing, we don't know how many people have watched their loved ones die due to starvation. Yeah, y'all, this is why I'm passionate about helping those who are food insecure through the News in Motion platform. And I believe together, as we can bring our funds together, we can make a difference. So yes, starting now, I'm back to talking about this so we can do what we need to do and raise funds to help people who are hungry. This is an ongoing situation that I never want to ignore and I never want to forget, because there are people out here hungry. They are starving. They have less and less activity because of a lack of nutritious food. Brain power, their education, they cannot even go forth. They're struggling with that. Their learning is suffering because they are hungry. And on top of that, they're stressing. Yes, children stress as well, because they're worried about their parents, their guardians, their siblings, because nobody is eating and they may be facing people who are getting sick. Yeah, that happens. So y'all, according to Hunger in America, many households who use charitable food programs must make difficult choices to meet their basic needs. And I want to read this list. They say specifically households served by Feeding America Network reported choosing between the following: food and medical care, 66%. Do I pay for food or my medical care? What about someone with pre-existing condition? Well, I got to pay for this insulin, which means I can't eat, but I need to eat so the insulin will work effectively. Y'all, that's stress. Food and utilities. Do we eat or do we stay warm? Do we eat or do we have clean water? Do we eat or do we put the lights on so that the children can study and do their homework? That's 69%. Food and transportation. Do we eat or do I use this money for the city transportation to get to and from my job, to and from a place where I know I could possibly find food? That's 67%. Food and housing. Do I eat or do I have a roof over my head? That's 57%. Now, y'all, it goes on to say that oftentimes households must use coping strategies to meet their food needs, including, and here's this list, receiving help from friends. Do I tell my friends I need help? The last time I was with my friends, they were talking about how people are struggling. Are they going to look at me strange because I'm asking for help? They see me. They see that I have 4 degrees. They see that I used to live in a suburban area, but I've lost everything. I lost everything. I've sold everything. They don't know everything about me. They don't know that I sold everything that I had of worth of any value. And now I'm at a place that I need help. Do I ask them for this help? Knowing that I've been perpetrating, trying to put on a good mask, a good face, not letting anybody in or know what's happening to me and my family. Do I let them know what's going on? Y'all, that's at 53%. Watering down food or drinks. I need to make this meal stretch. So I'm going to add water to it. It's going to make it less nutritious, but I'm going to have to add water to it. That's 40%. Purchasing inexpensive, unhealthy food. All right, I have $3. I got to stretch this $3. So let me just do something. Let me get 3 hamburgers from McDonald's. It's at their $1 a day hamburgers. And let me slice these up in 4 ways, and each one of us can get a bite. Y'all, that's 79%. Selling personal property. I just got to sell everything that I have, trying to keep food in my system. Although the food is going to go bad in about 7 days because I don't have a refrigerator. I have nowhere to store this food. And if I'm out here on the street, somebody else is going to grab it from me because they too are hungry. That's at 35%. Growing food in a garden. Well, I really don't have a garden. I don't have a backyard. But let me see what I can do. Maybe I can get this little section here offside, on the outside of the highway. Let me see if I can just guard this and plant a few seeds. Yeah, I just had some watermelon. Let me plant these watermelon seeds. I know I had some pumpkin seeds that was in my pocket from a year ago. Let me see if I can plant this and find some water and put on this. Maybe even urinate on this spot to get it wet, to get it moist, to hopefully something will grow here. That's 23%. Yeah. Y'all, more than half, 55% of households served by Feeding America Network reported having to use 3 or more coping strategies that I just read off to deal with tough financial choices. Some of those coping strategies may support one's health, but others that make sense in the short term can be detrimental to health in the long term. This is particularly true for households with children and among people who are already coping with a diet-related chronic disease. So couple that with everything that I have shared with you in the last 19 minutes. Yeah. Y'all, who does food insecurity affect the most? Seniors, children, rural communities, African Americans, and Latinos. Yeah. 58% of households reported having at least one member with high blood pressure, and 33% had at least one member with diabetes. Food insecure. I talked about planting a garden, which takes me to Black Farmers National Association. That's the NBFA. Now I'm going to just read this to you. It's a nonprofit organization representing African American farmers and their families in the United States. As an association, it serves tens of thousands of members nationwide. The FBFA education and advocacy efforts have been focused on civil rights, land retention, access to public and private loans, education, agricultural training, and rural economic development for Black and other small farmers. I raise this today along with those who are food insecure because we need to start thinking about even investing in places such as the Black Farmers Association. Because if we are sowing seeds, if we're making donations there, that will trickle out into the Black and brown community. So the African Americans and the Latinos that I just shared. It can also hit where I talked about seniors and children being the top two demographics that are food insecure. Yeah. So y'all, everything connects. Everything connects. And I want us to take this serious. So here's what I want you to do today. And if you want to look up the National Farmers Association, is www.nationalblackfarmersassociation.org. Again, it's National Black Farmers, that's plural with an S, National Black Farmers Association.org. They have a campaign that they're doing that's called Let's Get Growing campaign. As many of you know, for my 56th birthday, I put out a post on Facebook. And that Facebook post was to say, hey, let's fundraise for the National Black Farmers Association. So what am I saying and what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to consider giving a donation either to the National Black Farmers Association or to Feeding America. Y'all, it can be $3, $2, $5. The other thing I'm asking you to do is to write a list. Write a list of the areas where you travel, where you drive, where you frequent, where you may see families under a bridge, in the bus stop, on the side of a road. Just take a list. I do not want you to go there. Don't do that. Don't do that. And as you are taking that list, I want you to then identify an organization, a nonprofit organization that may be helping that particular population or those particular people. Partner with them. See how you can help. See how you can volunteer. See how you can gather food. The other thing I want you to do is to think about the local school system in your area. When you can, call them up, email them, whatever that looks like. Contact the administration at these schools and say, what is the percentage of people, you could possibly find this online, of children who are food insecure? You can't get their names, of course, that's private information. And then ask the school system how you can help. How you can help. Because when they leave school, they still need to eat. Find out who the school connects with. Y'all, this is what News in Motion is all about. We are daily news commentary with a call to action, and this is the call to action, mixed with an inspirational message. Today's inspirational message is this. You may be entertaining an angel unaware. If they're hungry, feed them. Feed them. The next time you eat, the next time you pray over your food, I'm asking you to think about those who are food insecure. The next time you go grocery shopping, the next time you go through a fast food drive-thru, the next time you're sitting down at a restaurant, I want you to think about those who are food insecure. Now, here's my stretch. The next time you go through a drive-thru, and the next time, 2 times, the next time you go through the drive-thru and the next time you sit down at a restaurant or you pick up the food to go, because I know you may be saying, I pick up my food to go. You can do that as well. I want you to add those 2 receipts up, and then I want you to donate that exact amount to either Feeding America or the National Black Farmers Association. All right, y'all, I am Gail Dudley with your News in Motion. You know what I say. Stay well, and remember, make some moves.